Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Knight of Swords. One of my favorite archetypes, one of my least favorite cards as far as like the art goes for the Thoth deck. I always think it looks like a horse jockey, like they're racing a horse or whatever. I don't know why, I don't know. Well, that's just me. So anyways, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. We just had a tornado warning. And like torrential rains. It was just wild out here for a while. Thankfully the power didn't go out. So it looks like we have 200. Excuse me. Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm taking drinks, I'm sure you can hear, but I have to. My throat is still not 100%. All right, so let's start over here. Now we have the serpent right here. We have a person holding up, it looks like a wand. We have another person over here kind of commanding a bird. We have a person here riding atop a beast. Maybe something like Babylon. We have a large goat right here. Okay, so it looks like we have maybe almost like a witch kind of character with a hat and maybe holding a bird and kind of kneeling down looking at something or working on something. So I feel like there's just this overall, and we have a cow. We have the mother. Okay, so we have Hathor as well. You can see her right here. Here's the cow, the head, the eye, the nose, the side of the face, and side profile. So we have this overall kind of energy of magic users, magic creators. Those under the influence of magic is just magic all over. And I don't mean stage magic. I do mean, things of the occult or there are so many kinds of magic. There's not just black magic. I don't even know what black magic really means. It means different things to different people. But nothing, I don't see it as being anything nefarious, right? But a magical life. Kind of living in this place where, you believe that things can be changed in the physical world depending on how you are using different forms of influence, of magic, of spell work, of whatever it is. Prayer, right? Prayer is a big one. It does. There's even studies that show that the act of prayer is somewhat helpful, for healing, for lifting the spirits, for a sense of ease and feeling connected to one another. Okay, so it quite literally does help. It works. to some degree, right? Now, sometimes it's very fantastical and you can't even believe, right, that this prayer worked. And other times it's much more subtle, right? But the act of praying is one of the most powerful tools, one of the most powerful blessings, one of the most powerful means of communication and influence that we have. Okay? So I'm looking at this and I just feel like you're in a place where, yeah, you're connected with spirit. But even beyond that, which that's like what's beyond being connected to spirit, really, I do feel like there's a sense of really being in a power place with your maybe natural abilities, but I feel like these are also cultivated. I have an eye here, so I wonder if you are somebody who does have the ability to scry or divine in some way. You might have prophetic dreams or revelations or something like this. This person also looks like a Z and an A. So we have Za, and we have, again, this energy of Babylon there. And we have the goat as well. So I kind of wonder if there is a sense of breaking conformity, going outside of the parameters of polite society or agreed upon social behaviors. Maybe you are a little bit of a rebel and you kind of do what you want. Now we're talking about an Aries, so yes, I believe that 100%. And I also feel that when you put your mind to something, you're going to do whatever it takes. You will try most things. I absolutely believe that there's some kind of working going on here. Now, it doesn't feel like love. It doesn't even feel like money. I feel like this is something about maybe family. Really like hoping, praying, getting busy and making some of those, appeals to the divine. Maybe even doing some kinds of sympathetic magic or fetish or whatever it is. To help promote an outcome that you desire, okay? Now, maybe this is something that you have learned yourself, or maybe you are working with somebody, okay? Now, we have Hathor here. So this is the mother, but she is also a patron of the mysteries, right? She is the ultimate kind of middle goddess. And she is the mother. All mothers and grandmothers are the revealers of creation, right? Quite literally go through the process of creating and manifesting. And so I feel like this is a time where you better sit down, make a list of the important things that you want to accomplish, those things that you want to manifest in your life, because this is that goddess really smiling down on you and letting you know you're receiving kind of the stream of potent energy, and you are aligned in such a way where you will make things happen. You will definitely make things happen. So do not squander that. Make use of it. Whatever that is that you're looking for. Now, I also feel, there just seems to be a sense of being drawn to the research, the study of magic. Maybe you are beginning to look for your community. Maybe you're beginning to look for your system. Maybe you are like myself. I'm a solitary practitioner. I have no affiliations. When I was younger, I flirted with the idea of going into a grade system or, something like this where you get initiated into a social magical system or whatever. I've had magical partners. I have one right now, my husband. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. But we're both solitary practitioners and self-initiated. Well, I'm self-initiated. And, you might be somebody like this as well. There are a lot of us out here. You don't have to belong to a club or, whatever. So I just feel like, there's this feeling of wanting to learn more. Reading books, listening to audiobooks, looking for texts, trying things, a lot of rituals. It's funny how they become accepted, and we don't think of them as so much, acts of magic or medicine or shamanism or, whatever, a variety of titles or whatever. Cleaning, smudging your house, it's definitely become pretty co-opted by mainstream spiritualists and people that just, I'm going to cover all my bases, right? I don't necessarily partake in this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just to make sure, if it needed to happen, maybe it will help, and, so there's I think a lot more willingness to try different things these days. You're here watching a tea leaf reading, so you must have an open mind to some degree, right? And so I do. I look at this and I feel like this is a time of great magical exploration. I'm very excited for you. Welcome to magic. Welcome to the beautiful high arts, right? And maybe some of the low ones. And it is fantastic. Now, just make sure that you are protecting yourself. Go and read some books about psychic self-protection, about doing, ritual within the parameters that you start with the rules. And then once you learn them and you know how to use them, then you start breaking them, right? That's the best advice I could give you. But just make sure that you're being careful, okay? And so we also have an eagle right here. And you can see, sitting right here, you can see it. Isn't it? It's not an eagle. It's a hawk. We have a hawk right here. You can see the head and the beak, and yes, so this is very much a symbol of the Knight of Swords. Very sharp, right? Flying above all of the lands, looking down with a perspective like no other. Learned, logical, rational, creative. Your brain is a beautiful thing, right? And so, I could see where you have a lot of kind of maybe not knowing how you really feel about these things that you're interested in partaking in, and do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Is it real? Is it not real? What does real even mean, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. So I look at this and I'm happy to see one of these high-flying birds because it tells me that you have the imagination that you do need to go on a magical path, a spiritual path, but you also are discerning. You're not just going to kind of, follow whatever somebody tells you, right? You got to figure it out for yourself. And if it doesn't feel legitimate or authentic to you, then, you let it go. It doesn't, you don't have to follow. Aries is never a follower, right? I've never met an Aries person that just takes somebody's word for something. You know, like, oh, okay, well, so-and-so said, so that's what it is. No, you all are like little detectives, aren't you? You're going to figure the dang thing out. And so, yes, I'm glad to see that we have this, because I feel like it's also a time where, you know, you're somewhat of a critic, right? You know, and maybe a tad cynical about things at times. So you're not just gonna, you know, believe without any evidence. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes for you, definitely. Now we have an angel right here. We have a person walking, and then we have a deer. And the person walking, holding hands with the deer. So meeting a spiritual guide. But you also have your guardian angel with you. This is powerful. This is one of the most powerful signs I've seen in any reading lately. In a long time, maybe. I don't know. But to be hand in hand with the sacred deer, also a stag, by the way, it has big antlers, and having an angel over your shoulder, you are protected. You are most definitely protected. And this is a time where you are finding clarity in your own being, in your own place. Where do I belong? What do I want? What do I need? What am I willing to do to get it? You are absolutely at this place of clarity and decision making. What is my path going to look like going forward, at least for the next little while? Okay. Now we also have a fish down here, a big fish. So we do have some money. There's a sense of, you know, some kind of resources coming in. Now this is all kind of in play together. So I do feel like as you are kind of exploring these spiritual, these, you know, most sacred aspects of self and of your life, it is giving you the energy, the strength, the motivation, the openness, the space within your existence to bring in abundance. I feel like your mind is open, your heart is open, and you are ready to receive. And that will come. Definitely that will come. We also have a rabbit. Nice. So we do have more, and fertility on top of that. So not only abundance, but fertility. So, excuse me, inspiration. That's what we need, right? We need an idea. What are we doing with ourselves? Yes, but I do feel like there's an inspiration here, and it is growing, and it is growing, and you will not lose sight of that. Now we have a big B right here. So it seems like a B name. Somebody with a B name. Okay, now we're gonna look over here. We have, it looks like a turtle. We have a question mark. We have Ka, K-A. So again, there's this reiteration of this energetic force in your life. The thing that flows through your life that helps allow you to create abundance in your life, create the things that you need, create the things that you want, even creating situations that maybe you don't want, but they need to happen because you're learning a lesson, the ordeals of your life, okay? But you are protected. You are protected. The turtle tells me slowing down. allowing yourself to meander a bit. Look around, take it all in, breathe. Bring yourself back to that middle place. Don't go so far out that you lose sight of or become ungrounded or untethered, okay? Continuing to check in with yourself, continuing to check in with your mental health, continuing to honor your routines, okay? This is important. We need that foundational stuff to keep us from, just absolutely spiraling or becoming unbound and just kind of floating away into the atmosphere. When you begin with magic, or if you are already established in magic, you will know we have to keep our lower life, our daily life, our mundane life. This is what keeps us from losing ourselves in all of it, which happens. It absolutely does. This is the archetype of the madman. You could probably think of at least one person who is into, conspiracy or occultism or religion or whatever, and they have just lost their center. They're swept away in it all. And maybe, they'll find their footing again, or maybe not. Who knows? It happens though, and it happens more easily than you can imagine. So now we also have, it looks like Anubis. We have a goose, and we have a 2. So we have a psychopomp here. And I wonder if there is a loss of a beloved pet, companion, a fur baby. If something like this has happened recently or they have taken ill, I feel like this is kind of looming in the household. Now we also have the complete cycle here. So it does feel like, there will be a time pretty soon here, where there will be a loss of somebody beloved. But it feels like it's an animal. And it maybe was recently that this happened, but again, it maybe hasn't come to pass. And I don't want to make anybody upset or afraid about that, but I think it's something that you already know. Maybe they've been ill. Maybe they're getting older and not acting themselves anymore. Excuse me. But I do see you kind of being a part of this process and being kind of their guiding light through it. All right, let's go ahead and do our Wild Offering Oracle cards. I'm sorry, I'm starting to struggle to get through these with my throat here. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to flip. I'm going to stop where it feels right. We're going to turn it over, and it says companionship. When you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. May I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. May I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. I couldn't agree more. The last time I got this card, I went on a long explanation of why. But basically, I believe, this is just my silly little belief, that everybody should have at least a couple years, if not more, maybe a few years, by yourself. Hopefully when you're younger, before you get married or, get too involved in whatever. Spending a couple of years, a year living by yourself, a couple of years living by yourself, not focused on romantic entanglement, or trying to always find a friend to be with, or, you know, just finding a space in your life where you can be with yourself, you can do your things, and of course you have friends and maybe you date and all of that, but also focusing on the things that you want to do, the things that you want to find out about yourself. Who we are when we're always in relation to other people can be much different than who we are when we are alone. I never knew I was a strong person until I was alone. I was alone for, you know, I don't know, like I always forget how many. It was like 5 years. Let's just say it's about 5 years. And the first part of it was very difficult. I was mourning my first husband who had passed away. And I moved away from everybody I knew to be literally a hermit. Just to live with my cats by myself and not really see or talk to anybody. It took me years to even begin to make friends in real life around me. And not that many, by the way. And so those years were hard, but they were some of the best years of my life, you know. And it truly was the time that I needed so that I could meet my husband and we could be, you know, we could work towards a functional relationship. Because if I had not had that time alone, I don't think I would be the person that I am now. I just don't. It was such an intense time of internal work, magical work, visions, making art, making sacred objects. I started, you know, really getting involved in my divination and studies and everything else. And I fully believe we all need this kind of time. We all need it at some point in our life. So if you have the opportunity, I know it's hard, you know, but try not to lament it too much because it is a gift. It is a gift from the universe. A place for you to do the things that are for you, right? All right, Aries, I'm going to get it together here. Oh my goodness. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I love you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. We don't have mold. I'm just going to say that. Maybe I'm trying to mention it in most of my readings because I've had these comments where people are like, you and your husband are so sick all the time. I think you have a lot of mold. We don't have mold. You know, I've definitely lived places in my life where, yeah, there was mold. But we don't. We just have a daughter that's in preschool. And, you know, it's just been waves of getting sick. And not only just us, everybody else in the class. And even this week, you know, her teacher was sick, and her teacher rarely gets sick. So it was a strong respiratory thing that we caught. And yeah, I don't know, you know, we're all good. We appreciate it and we love you. You know, but it's not any of that. And let's maybe not speculate about people's health on the internet. You know, but other than that, yes, I love you. I thank you. And we'll talk in a few days. Yes, we will. All right. Good night.